about true crime, it's because I like how it's made. So I kind of like to see how a product starts from nothing and comes out as something they can sell or produce. So, well, they produce it, so they sell it after they produce it.
Yeah.
But I think I like that about true crime. I like to see how they put all the pieces together.
And it's interesting because we do episodes. I mean, hell, we've covered cases from like the 1600s. You know, you cover them all over, and it's interesting to, kind of dissect the different investigative techniques and tactics that they use.
Yeah.
Right? Because what they did in 59 obviously is very different from what they would do currently.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's interesting to see, they used, obviously they didn't have DNA then, but they had blood types, fingerprints, they even had fibers a little bit. So yeah, it's fun to see how they solved crimes in different decades and time frames.
Also like the luck. Sometimes just they luck out. I can't think of a great example. Well, actually, the best example I could think is the Sidney Pavat case.
Oh yeah,
the happenstance of the cop seeing the there he is.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Were the guy just having to walk out?
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so luck is the thing.
Yep. Sure. And there's a little bit of luck in the capture of Dick and Perry in this.
Okay,
as well.
Cool.
Yeah,
awesome. I'm ready for it.
Well, after murdering all 4 members of the Clutter family, Dick and Perry collected the spent shotgun shells from the floor. They grabbed a Zenith portable radio, a pair of binoculars, and about $50 in cash before fleeing the Clutter house.
Okay.
So all 4 people died for what ended up being about $80 in loot. I mean, it wouldn't even matter if they died for $1 million.
No.
It's even worse when they died for like a few bucks.
Senseless is the word that comes in. Not that it would make sense for them to die, but everyone can smell what we're stepping in.
Exactly. You all know. Well, so they fled east and turned north on Highway 83 in Garden City towards Scott City. After a couple miles, they turned right onto a gravel road. After traveling a little ways from the highway, they pulled over, dug a hole in the ditch, and buried the shell casings, the bloody gloves, rope, and tape they'd used to secure the Clutters.
Okay.
After this, they made the long drive back to Edgerton.
Okay.
So let's revert back to the Clutter home, and we're going to kind of cover the discovery of what had just been done. Later that morning, just after 9 a.m., Clarence Ewalt, E-W-A-L-T, and his daughter Nancy arrived at the Clutter house. Nancy Ewalt and Nancy Clutter, not to be confusing, were very close friends.
Okay.
And they picked up, usually the Ewalt family would pick up Nancy and take her to church on Sundays.
Okay.
They rang the doorbell several times and walked around to knock on the back of the door, but got no answer. They then drove to the nearby home of Susan Kidwell and tried to call the Clutters from there, but again, got no answer. Then Susan and Nancy returned to the Clutter home, and this time they walked inside. As they hollered for Nancy to wake up because it was time to go to church, they noticed Bonnie's open purse lying next to the back door. That's the first thing that's weird. Eventually, they walked upstairs to see if Nancy was in her room, and that is when they made the horrific discovery. Clarence, who's the father, who was just coming in, he grabbed the Clutter's phone to call an ambulance, but the phone lines had been cut. 2 phones in the house, each line had been cut. That's when he realized, okay, something terrible has happened. They raced to the nearest phone and called the police. Soon after, Finney County Sheriff Earl Robinson arrived at the Clutter's farm. So Sheriff Robinson knew the Clutter family, I mean everybody knew him, and was devastated when he discovered all 4 family members in the home were murdered. Nothing of this magnitude had ever occurred in Finney County before, and Sheriff Robinson immediately realized his tiny department was painfully ill-equipped to handle this and too inexperienced to deal with a quadruple homicide investigation. So he called the Kansas Highway Patrol and, most importantly, the KBI, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation.
Okay.
KBI agent Alvin Dewey was put on the case. There was not a better man for the job. L. Dewey was well-respected in law enforcement, and, he was probably as well as respected in law enforcement as Herb Clutter was in the farming community. Also, Al lived just minutes away in Garden City, and he attended the same church as the Clutter family.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it was like personal.
Yeah.
This time, it's personal.
Yeah, for sure.
So, he was actually sitting in that Methodist church on Sunday morning in service when officers walked in. Imagine that. Tapped him on the shoulder and said, "We need you at the Clutter farm." And
I can
got
see
him
it
out.
like a movie scene. I could see that.
Yeah.
You know.
I pictured that too. You know, like the pastor's preaching or they're singing a hymnal or
Yeah.
something, and these guys in suits come in and knock. We need you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except if I was director, you wouldn't hear that. You would just see it, and you would hear the choir and stuff singing.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're always the director in our one film that we made. Remember that?
You're always the one. In the one, you're always.
It's a
love
true
that.
statement.
Yeah.
The following is the original audio recording of Agent Al Dewey describing what he found at the farm that morning. This is the play.
Uh-oh. This is going to be like reliving what you said earlier in the last episode.
Yeah.
But
So yeah,
from a
Sam.
different lens.
Yeah, it's the same video as the first, but it starts at 12:42, and it goes for roughly a minute. You'll know when it stops. So.
Wait, is that him?
No,
Oh.
that's that's what somebody's son.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
I was
That's
gonna
good
just
audio or good video quality.
yeah. I was gonna type what Al Dewey said, but I was just like, man, we've got his record. He's got his actual voice describing it.
Yeah.
That just seemed like way more
Yeah.
effective. So
Cool.
Did we stream this? Are we streaming? Okay.
Happened.
Okay, right here. Yeah.
The scene at the Clutter home was not a pretty sight. Mr. Clutter was found in the furnace room, bound and gagged, shot in the head with a 12-gauge shotgun, and his throat cut. Their only son, Kenyon, was in another room in the basement, tied to the couch, bound and gagged, and shot in the head with a shotgun. In the upstairs, the mother, Bonnie Clutter, was found in her room, bound and gagged, and shot in the side of the head with a shotgun. Nancy, the 16-year-old girl, was found in bed, bound, and shot in the back of the head with a 12-gauge shotgun.
One time when we were 10 or 11, kneeling
That's
by
it.
the bed and trying to say our bedtime prayers, we could not remember.
You guys should watch that whole video. By the way, it's,
yeah.
Well, it's a 4-part series. It's like a 4-hour series. I watched the whole thing. It's great.
Wow.
It's great. It's got interviews with. It was made, a few years back, so a lot of the people were still alive. It's got interviews with a lot of the surviving members, and it's got old interviews from the time with the sheriff and Al Dewey. It's just good. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Looks well made.
Yeah, it is great. It gave me so much info on this case. Okay.
Could not remember.
So Al went on to say, and I quote, any family that was least likely to be murdered should have been the Clutter family. They were a good Christian family, very active in the church and school. Because of the family reputation and their standing in the community, we are at a loss as to why these vicious, brutal, and senseless murders have occurred. End quote. Yeah, so Al Dewey was joined by fellow KBI agents Roy Church, Clarence Dunce, and Harold Nye to process the scene. Deputy Chief Rich Rolliter, and that's probably the wrong pronunciation, but I'm sorry, came from Garden City PD and took dozens of photographs of each room in the house, as well as the bodies and the exterior of the house. As far as evidence pointing to who the killer or killers may have been, the house seemed reluctant to give up its secrets. That is, until a half footprint in Herb Clutter's own blood was discovered next to his body. The print, which was the front half of the foot, like from the toe to the arch, revealed the perfect pattern with a cat paw logo. It was like a circle with a cat paw in the middle.
Okay.
It was the first major clue that could possibly reveal who the killer was. And I say killer because that's the assumption the investigators were initially working under, that there was one killer.
Sure.
However, once the photographs Rich Rollader had taken were developed, they discovered something they'd missed at the scene. In the photograph of the bloody half footprint, not far away, was a second print in blood, not in blood, but in dust. Said that wrong. This print featured a diamond pattern shred and was so subtle that it had been missed during the search. So apparently they just didn't see it with the naked eye, but as he took the photo, I guess the flash, everything, and you can see it. You can see this photo. It's on Google. You can Google the photo.
Wow.
You can see very lightly a diamond pattern footprint not that far from the bloody cat paw footprint. So
it seems like at that time, footprints were awesome evidence because it wouldn't seem like there's many different shoe models back then.
Right.
I mean, now when you go in a shoe store, when you think
it.
about everything you see, but
Yeah.
in fact, I don't know if I'm recalling something or if I'm just thinking it would be a good idea, but it seems like I saw something one time where they catalog like every shoe that comes out.
That is a good idea. If they do that, you would think they would, because they
Yeah.
could put that in a database and just put the image in,
Sure.
and it would.
AI could
and then
be
it would-
like, that's a New Balance size 11 and a half.
Oh, so a middle-aged man committed this murder, right?
Or a kid that's mad at his parents.
Yeah. If that's not a thing, it should be a thing.
I'm sure it probably is.
Yeah. If we've thought of it, then surely to God,
Exactly.
like the FBI.
If I'm sitting here coming up with things that hadn't been thought of, man, look
I sure
out.
hope someone's thought of them.
Makes me nervous. That's the thing I came up with something that would solve a crime. That's not good.
Wouldn't it be weird? Like you send that to Quantico, and they're like, "We've never thought of that."
Yeah, I'm sure.
They know.
Because all you'd have to do is like, and I know we're not about like government mandates, but I mean, it'd be like, hey, after you've produced that shoe model, make sure to forward a copy to this email address or something. You know?
Yeah. So we have it on file.
Yeah.
Boom. Footprints.
There it is.
Boom.
Yep.
I'll say it again. Boom. We know who it is.
That's right.
I figured, listen, I wondered, and as I said, probably hadn't crossed your mind. I've been into true crime so long, I've thought about, like, what would I do if I did something? I would purposefully get shoes way bigger than I don't have that big of feet. I wear like a 9.5.
Yeah.
I would purposely go buy like 11s or 12s. And I would put like a board, like to evenly distribute weight. I would even put like a flat, like a 1x4 in the bottom, so it wouldn't be all the weight. And then the front 3 inches of the shoe is just light,
Yeah.
I would do that to like throw off. I'm like, oh man, we're looking for a big old boy with big clodhoppers.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm just a little ginger with 9.5s. It'd throw them off.
Get some like handmade like moccasin shoes.
There you go.
That way you got no trace.
It didn't trace to anything.
Yeah.
And then burn them when you're done.
Yeah. Let's not give the criminals any more
There's some criminal in his mom's dark basement right now, like taking notes. Thank
Welcome
you.
to How to Get Away with It podcast with Joe and Ivan.
Oh, by the way, murder weapon, an ice pick. Not an ice pick, but like an icicle.
Yeah.
Like you just freeze an icicle, stab someone with it, it melts.
Yeah.
There's no evidence.
Mythbusters did a ice bullet.
Oh, did it work?
No, it couldn't withstand the acceleration and the heat.
That
from the
makes
barrel.
sense. Yeah, it would just.
But I don't think they spent a lot of time trying to figure out ways to make it work.
You would just get hit with like a little mini snow cone. It would just be like, just like shredded ice.
I think that's what happened from what I remember. Yeah,
Tiger blood.
Yeah.
Boom.
tiger blood.
That's my favorite. But an icicle, man, that's foolproof. You just stab someone with an
That's
icicle.
from something.
Is it?
Yeah, it's from something.
No, it's not. It's my idea, Ivan. No, it's not.
No, I mean it's not from something real, but I think it's from
Like a
I think a killer in a fiction work.
Oh, okay.
I think it's something like that.
That would make sense. You could even make a mold of just the perfect, and just freeze the hell out of it, and then and it would melt, man. The murder weapon melts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What's their murder weapon? Was there all this water everywhere?
exactly.
I can't put them together.
It's like in Christmas Vacation. What happened to the CD player? And where's all this water come from?
Yeah, that's right. It's same
The
thing.
evidence melted. When Chevy Chase shoots that icicle in there from the gutter.
Man, I had it. As soon as you started saying it, I had it. I know Sam did too.
So as evidence from the scene was being processed, investigators set about trying to figure out a motive. As Al Dewey stated earlier, it was extremely difficult to imagine anyone having a grudge or vendetta against the Clutters, so some type of vengeance killing seemed unlikely. However, certain details of the crime did point to that conclusion. For instance, and I would think this too, the over-the-top brutality of the murders. It seemed like, you know, it would make you would think the killer knew the family and it was personal because it was so brutal. Usually a murder is like, you just kill him to get him out of the way, but my God, Herb had his throat slit and his head blown off.
I mean, it was about anger, but turns out they were just mad that the other guy lied to them.
Yeah.
So they took it out on them, I guess.
You're right, that the brutality was manifested that way.
So I mean, it is grounded in what the truth is.
Yeah. So they were just wrong about the cause of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We got this figured out.
Well, we have all the evidence. They didn't have that. True. They had to piece it together.
So also the only items that seemed to be missing from the home were those binoculars and the portable radio we mentioned earlier and that little bit of cash. So, they didn't figure that was a big enough score to kill the whole family. So robbery, it wasn't on their radar at first.
Yeah.
It was thought, at least at the time, that the murders were unrelated to robbery and that the missing items had been merely taken as an afterthought, just like maybe a trophy or whatever. The KBI also initially believed the killer/killers, which we know killers by now with the 2 footprints, had likely been local, a hunch that terrified the citizens of Holcomb, Garden City, and the surrounding area.
Yeah.
In a region where people never locked their doors, suddenly every lock in every hardware store in the county was purchased virtually overnight. As investigators questioned the Clutters' friends, associates, and remaining family members, it was soon discovered that on the afternoon before the murders, Herb Clutter had signed a $40,000 double indemnity life insurance policy. What? Life insurance?
Yeah.
Based on the double indemnity clause, which meant that Eviana and Beverly Clutter, the 2 remaining family members, were now going to receive double. So that'd be $40,000 each, which is almost $400,000 in today's overly inflated, worthless, funny money. Thanks, government. Thanks, Federal Reserve. Anyway, there were brief whispers as to whether or not the adult Clutter children could have orchestrated the massacre for financial gain, but that was quickly snuffed out. It was revealed that although Herb had signed the policy the day before his death, he'd been working on it with his insurance agents for like literally a couple months.
Oh, okay.
Going over the details. It does look bad that he signed it the night before, the evening before, but Eviana and Beverly Clutter, they enjoyed every ounce of reverence and respect amongst their peers as their murdered parents and siblings. And, despite that, a thorough investigation of where they were and all that, they didn't do it. They have nothing to do with it.
Credit goes to the investigators. They were able
eliminated them
to rule them out, which obviously we know that was a solid move.
Yeah.
So good job on that.
Yeah, they investigated their alibis and everything, and they were totally clear.
Yeah. Good police work there.
Yep. So then they looked at Nancy's boyfriend, Bobby Rupp. Now, I mentioned him in the early part of the previous episode, and I said he was going to come up later.
Sure.
Well, here we are. Here we are again. During certain interviews, it had been suggested that Herb did not approve of her daughter's boyfriend. Also, Nancy was the only victim shot in the back of the head, not the front. Everybody else was, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that during the description.
That does make sense. You would think you would assume as an investigator that if the rest of the family was shot in basically the face or the side of the head, okay, then you got Nancy, you automatically would think, oh, maybe the killer couldn't bear to look at her.
Makes me think that might have been the only one that Dick had a part in.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe he did that one, and that's why she was.
And what's interesting is there will be a facet of this with Dick towards Nancy we'll get into in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
That It's ironic
Okay.
that you said that.
Okay.
Investigators wondered if Bobby had killed the family in retaliation for Herb's non-approval, and the reason Nancy had been shot in the back of the head was, he had feelings for this one. He had feelings for her, so he couldn't look at her. Far-fetched, but they're grasping at straws.
Yeah.
There was also the fact that Bobby had been over to the house the day before the murders and was possibly even the last person to see them alive. I listened to an interview with him many, many years after. He was an old man by that point. And in that interview, he claimed he was the last person to see them.
Oh, wow.
So in the interview, he says, I wasn't surprised that they came and picked me up because I was the last person to see him. I was literally there a few hours before.
Yeah.
And he says, of course, they had to interview me.
Sure.
So, he was picked up and interviewed by the KBI. Within half an hour of speaking to the boy, Al Dewey told a fellow investigator, quote, "There's no way this kid killed anyone." Because Bobby was just like a shaky, snotty, crying, shaken up mess because his girlfriend had just been killed. So, Dewey, with his years of experience, was immediately like, okay, right, this kid killed no one. We're wasting our time with him. Bobby then voluntarily took a polygraph test, and he passed. Following that, he was cleared as a suspect. Unfortunately for Bobby, though, the optics of him being hauled in for questioning for the Clutter family murders were such that many assumed he was under legitimate suspicion by the KBI, and some even surmised he may have actually done it.
The old court of public opinion.
The small town bullshit. Yeah, you know how it is. Based on those assumptions, he was so badly mistreated at Holcomb High School that he eventually transferred out. I think he went to Garden City, which to me, like Garden City was like 5 minutes away. Was it really that different? But I don't know. Maybe it was.
Well, yeah. At least they, accepted him.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't just like common knowledge that they thought he did it. Maybe it was just like, maybe a few thought he did it and most people thought he didn't.
And maybe it was worse at Holcomb because Nancy had literally went to school there.
Yeah.
She'd walked the halls. She had sat in those classrooms. And over at Garden City, she'd never been in that school.
Sure.
So as a student. So maybe that was better.
I'm sure it was super awkward anyway, but
oh yeah.
But it wasn't as bad as the other one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, on Wednesday, November 18th, the funeral service for Herb, Bonnie, Nancy, and Kenyon Clutter was held at the same Methodist church they'd attended in life. More than 1,000 people showed up. By that time, the press was on top of everything, so the Hutchinson News, a publication out of Hutchinson, Kansas, been there, was also present. The paper had recently offered a $1,000 reward to anyone with information leading to the capture of the killers. The reward would soon produce the first big break in the case. Remember Floyd Wells, the guy who lied about the safe?
Yes.
All right. So he knew damn well who had just killed the Clutters. And he had been, right? Because Dick was like, was that? Oh, for sure.
Oh.
You know.
I'll be a witness. Like if they actually do this and there's a reward set up, then I'll.
That's actually pretty smart for some dude sitting in jail. If he did do that, it's vile. It's extremely vile, but yeah.
I don't know if he had the forethought of it, but we are going to get. Well, here we go. So he knew who had done it because Dick had told everybody.
Yeah.
From 400 miles away, he was in his cell knowing who did it. It had been over a week since the murders, and he hadn't said anything, but like Sam alluded to, when the $1,000 reward was offered, old Floyd had a sudden attack of conscience.
Yeah.
Right? He decided right then and there, you know what? It's my moral duty to tell what I know.
You think?
But he capitalized on,
I don't think it was about a moral duty. It was about a immoral duty.
Yeah, a monetary duty.
There we go.
Can I get that 1,000 in tens?
So you get $1,000.
Yeah.
But you have to admit your lie killed them.
Ooh, yeah. Ouch.
I'm sure he didn't consider that.
No. Ooh. But he he pretty much admits everything.
Because I'm just thinking it's lucky that he did.
Yeah.
But if he would have thought about it for a minute, he could have been like, wait a second. It's not worth it. I know it's $1,000 back then.
It was equivalent of like $70 bajillion now. You know?
But you got to think wow, you're admitting that your lie killed them.
Not
Not directly. I know.
Well,
People-
pretty much though.
in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My statement, if I was Floyd Wells, I would have left the safe part out. I just would have been like, listen, all I did was tell him I worked for this guy, Herb
he was
Clutter,
rich.
who had a lot of money. You
Yeah.
know, even then you're at fault, though. You are the
Yeah,
one that
that's
put him
true.
on their radar. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, does $1,000 help you sleep at night, Floyd Wells? Does it? He's dead now, but did it?
Yeah. Wow.
Well, on December 5th, 3 weeks after the murders, KBI agent Wayne Owens traveled to Lansing to interview Floyd. Floyd told the agent all about how he'd worked for the Clutters and had seen Herb pay out large amounts of cash while paying for lumber. He then said he'd told this story to a couple of fellow inmates named Richard Dick Hickok and Perry Edward Smith. So that was the moment that these two guys came on the radar. He told Agent Owens that Dick had spoken at length about how he and Perry were going to go to the Clutters and rob them as soon as they were on parole, which they were both on parole when the murders occurred. They were both on parole when the murders occurred. Furthermore, after a quick check of the roster of past employees at the Clutter farm, investigators did find that Floyd Wells' name was on there. So that corroborated the story.
Yep.
But the question was now, all right, we need to question these guys. Where the hell is Dick Hickok and Perry Smith? So let's follow them guys.
Yeah.
Let's go back to just after the murders. They've buried the stuff on that road up there by not Fort Scott, Scott City, something like that. So they drove back to Edgerton, Kansas on the afternoon of the 15th, the same day they'd killed the Clutters, but they didn't stay there very long. After a few days, they drove into Kansas City, where Dick cashed a series of bad checks for a quick stockpile of cash. About a week later, the pair drove 1,700 miles south into Mexico, crossing the border at 2 p.m. on November 23rd. After spending their first night in a whorehouse, and that's true, they sold Dick's 55 Chevy, as well as the portable radio and binoculars they'd stolen from the Clutters. But even after all that, they were broke again in just a few days, because they were idiots. Right? I mean, they're freaking idiots. That's the saddest part of this whole thing, is that Herb Clutter, this super clever, hardworking, awesome dude, and his wife and kids that were just like the greatest people, died at the hands of just two freaking idiots. Just
Well-
two bumble freaking drifter nomad idiots.
We've been here before, but yeah, you're right. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of cases to where the innocent suffer just because one person, instead of like, hey, let's learn my whole life and think about how precious life is,
Yeah.
they just disregard that.
Some boneheaded dipshit with a squinty eye and crooked nose. It's like, where's the safe? You know, that's who they had to
Yeah.
lay their life down to. It's
Yep.
so like degrading and angering. It's just so sad
'Cause-
and stupid.
If they heard this quote, they wouldn't stop to think that how neat the quote is, because it's one of my favorite quotes is, some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
not
that.
talking about the family that was tragically killed, but I'm just trying to devalue the stupid money part,
Yeah.
because it's just, I don't know, you just get in your mind, oh, if I had a little bit of money, it's like, no. Whatever skank you were before you had the money, you still are that skank after you have the money.
After you rob the money,
You're
yeah.
bringing the problems with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking back, what's funny is, and I've thought about this before, there have been times in my life where I've never had that much money. Like, I've never, obviously never been even close to wealthy. But there's been times in my life where, we flipped a few houses. Like, there's been times in my life where for a little bit we had a good amount of money. There's been times in my life where we had $1.40 in the bank and we were eating ramen, And what's funny is, when I look back, I can't remember being any happier in the times of all the money than when I had no money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't remember just when the times we had a nice little jingle for a while, just life being just perfect. No, it wasn't. It was still, there were still the same trials and tribulations and issues. And I just don't remember being any happier during those times.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe my mind is just tricking me that way. To be like, it's okay to be broke. You were happier then.
Well, it's just like money gives you options and security. So it's like,
Yeah.
if you want to like do something really cool and take a vacation or just I don't know, or just buy something you can have at home to give you some recreation, so where you can spend some time with your family.
It offers that.
That's the thing. But as far as just like
Your
it
personal
being the Band-Aid to make your life better.
Yeah.
That's not it. Obviously, that's commonsensical stuff. But
Whenever I take my 7-year-old and my 18-month-old out in our yard barefoot, and we just walk in the grass, and we walk through the trees, and we're talking, and obviously the 18-month-old is just babbling. But in those moments, it doesn't matter if we have $1 in the bank or $1 million. We're just out there, and we do that a lot. I try to keep them connected. I'm kind of hippie-ish and like grounding and connecting and just getting out there, feeling the grass, feeling the breeze, letting a ladybug land on your arm. Man, people need that, man.
They
people
do, for
need
sure.
that. And so in those times, it doesn't matter what's behind. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account. It's just fulfilling doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks to my wife for injecting all this hippiness into me. We have wooden silverware. It's all wood. She says metal does something. It's all wood. Wooden forks, wooden knives. It's difficult, but I love her. So we do it. No more plastic. There's stuff in the plastic. So we have all glass. No Tupperware. It's all glass, with like some sort of ceramic lid or something. No more nonstick pans. We have all ceramic pans. The nonstick stuff gives you cancer.
Plus, it doesn't work after a while.
It doesn't work after a very short while. Plus, you don't want Teflon in your body. I get that. I get all that. She's just looking out for us.
Yeah. We use a Blackstone for everything. Pretty
There you
much.
go. There you go. You're good. You're
way
good.
better.
Oh, and we're going to start using cast iron for most stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get a little iron in your body. You need it. You need it.
Don't wash it with soap.
No.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, from the Blackstone, cold water or ice is a very good cleaner.
Really?
Yeah, you just put ice on it when it's really hot, and then you scrape it off and dump it out, wash it out, and it's good.
There you
I
go.
just used my Blackstone this evening.
Oh, how do you like it so
I
far?
love it.
Yeah,
We got a
it's
couple
so
of Blackstone
amazing.
connoisseurs in
I
here.
mean, you don't have to buy the Blackstone brand. The other one's okay too. Just make sure you get the one with the thicker gauge steel. I would recommend. Yeah, not some of the cheap pot metal stuff.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Joe sounded like an Alice Cooper song there, but with kitchen utensils.
Oh, which one?
School's Out.
Oh,
Instead of stationery, he was kitchen utensils.
that's awesome.
I get it. It's all wood. It's wooden forks. Took a while to get used to. Wooden spoons, not so much. That's kind
No
of more
more
common.
pencils,
Yeah, that makes
no
sense,
more
yeah.
books. Instead, he's no more silverware. No more china.
But I cheat because at work I have metal forks and metal spoons that I use for lunch. I do that at work. Shh. She doesn't listen to this, so it's okay. It's all it's all from a good place in her heart,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
That's so. They sell the Chevy, they sell all the stolen loot, and they run out of money. So at this point, they decide to head back to United States, and that was on Tuesday, December 15th. Now, the deal was there was going to be just another big score. Dick was like, all we need to do is drive up there and just do a big score, like a real one this time, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And this time they were going to run away to Brazil after they got this big score, wherever
Okay.
it was. All right. So they traveled up the Mexican West Coast across the border and hitchhiked through the way to, where was it at? Where did I write it? Barstow, California.
Okay.
All right. En route, they decided to mail most of their belongings ahead, lighten their load a little bit, to their final destination, Las Vegas.
Okay.
I don't know why it was Las Vegas. Well, Perry had lived there in the past. Maybe, he had roots there. I don't know. But they weren't going to Vegas first. They made a few other stops. They hitchhiked through Colorado and Nebraska, and they stole a car while passing through Iowa. From there, they drove back to Kansas City, right? You see the map and the little hops.
The route makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
What are they trying to... I don't know. I don't get it.
Again, they're idiots, I guess.
So they want more money, so they're just traveling around.
Yeah.
You got to spend money at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why are they going to all these places?
And they go back to Kansas City where everyone's looking for them. That's where the KBI knows that's where Dick is from. Edgerton's right outside Kansas City. Why would you go back to the Hornet's Nest, like right where everyone's looking for you? Because they're idiots. They're idiots.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's lucky they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's what got them caught. So they go back to Kansas City, and Dick, I guess back then you could write, check out people that, younger folks. Back in the, remember having checkbooks?
Yeah.
Remember balancing your checkbook?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me now to think that back then I could just write my name on a piece of paper and write any amount of money on a check, and it would be accepted.
Yeah.
Right? That's crazy to think now. It's just a piece of paper, and you wrote a number on it. You wrote $800. Hope that's in there.
Yeah.
But by the time they found out whether or not, you were gone. Yeah. It was such a trustful system that seems ridiculous now.
Yeah.
Right?
It really does.
Whoever thought of that? Like, okay, the banks will issue, it'll have their bank account number on it, and they'll just write their name.
That is another strange thing.
They'll just write what?
It has your account number on it.
Yeah.
The thing that you give out to anyone has your account number on it.
Oh, that's true. You give it to everybody. You give it to the hungover kid at Taco Bell. Here's a check.
And there are people that not so much recently, but I remember a few years ago, some people saying, well, I don't use those debit cards and credit cards because someone will steal my information. I'd rather write a check. It's like your check has an account number.
Yeah, doesn't it have your right? We're right.
Oh,
it has
yeah,
your account number on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here's a piece
I'm
of
thinking
paper
of my account number right now.
with my account number on it.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here you go.
It's got my routing number too.
Yeah, here it is. Have it. I can't believe that. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Because all you'd have to do is just like make a copy of it.
Yeah, back in my 20s, I did this. I know everybody did this. I was broke all the time. And I'd have like 90 cents in the bank, but I knew there were certain places that it took 2 or 3 days for the check. So I'd go get groceries.
Yeah.
I'll get groceries here because the check won't go in till the 5th, and I get paid on the 4th, so I'm good.
I did it one time. I did it more than one time, but I'll tell you the last time I did it.
Yeah.
I went to Sam's Club on a Thursday night, and I tell this story to everyone. I'm sure I've told it on here before.
I don't know.
I wrote the check out. I handed it to them. It went through the little thing and did a U-turn and went back to the person's hand.
Oh.
And they handed me the check. And I'm like thinking like,
What happened?
No. You deposit late tonight.
You let it sit in the desk drawer for 2 days.
And as soon as I got to my bank the next morning,
Overdraft?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
And there were like a couple other things that because of that,
Oh, yeah.
it ended up costing me like $60 or $70.
I
for
swear
all
to
this
God,
stuff.
if you overdraft ever, that's when Netflix will come out. That's when the 1 year annual fee will come. That's when anything that's going to come out will come out extra every time.
Years later, we messed up, but if you have a decent enough account, it has overdraft protection now. But the bank will still charge you, but the other things will go through up to a certain number of, I think it's like $500.
Yeah.
But back in those days, they didn't have anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
Back in the good old days.
Yeah. So they're floating checks to keep their. So that makes sense. That's how they're traveling around.
Yeah, Dick was
Just
like,
floating all these
I can write any. Well, not any. I'm sure you couldn't go
Sure.
too high. He probably knew a threshold.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But
for
I can write $50 on this check, and they'll just give me $50 in
sure.
cash.
Free money.
It's just fantastic. What a system.
Yeah, we'll be in Brazil. It won't even matter.
Right, yeah. So after rolling through Iowa, still in that car, they drove back to Kansas City, as I said, wrote all the bad checks. They were for $500, which is the equivalent of almost $5,000, but tenfold, almost $5,000 today.
Yeah.
Which is still not live forever money, but it's probably like get out of the country money. $5,000. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, back then, yeah.
Yeah. So Dick and Perry then drove to Miami Beach, Florida, arriving on December 21st. They. What
about the stuff they mailed to Vegas?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
They get it eventually.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just keep going the wrong direction. It's driving me
Right?
crazy.
They're so far from Las Vegas.
I know.
They're in Florida.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, so they went there and talked to Carson Daly. They did spring break, Miami Beach.
Yeah, for sure.
So after spending a week there, including Christmas, they took off again. And they just kind of wandered all over the country. They went through South Carolina, Alabama, New Orleans, Shreveport, and they ended up in Texas. So they go through Fort Worth, Corpus Christi, El Paso, and then they shoot up north to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
They're just all over the place.
Sure. That's because they're writing them checks. I
They-
get it now.
Yeah. Finally, on December 30th, they decided to head to Vegas and pick up those boxes they'd mailed there.
I don't know why that was bugging me so much. But
Well, it'll be their undoing.
Okay. All right.
They arrived in Vegas late in the afternoon that same day and entered the post office to sign for their belongings. Las Vegas, along with just about every other major city in the country, had received a bolo, even though that's not what it was called back then.
Yeah, be on the lookout.
Yeah, but it was just a thing with their pictures and, the description of the car, the tag, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so as these guys are in the post office, there was two guys, Kansas City patrolmen, driving around the neighborhood, and they saw the black 56 Chevy with Kansas plates. One of them was like, hey, doesn't that match that Bolo, not what it's called now, but will be called in the future Bolo that we received earlier? And the other guy was like, no, I think it does. We better pull over and check this thing out.
I keep thinking of the dog food. Is that still good?
I'm pretty sure they're still Bolo.
Okay, I don't even know.
Right?
We don't ever buy it because, like, if you feed your dog that kind of stuff, that's the same way they poop, it seems like.
Dude, you are correct. Confirmed. Stormy, my best friend in the world, she's with me constantly, except for when I podcast. She gets a special blend of, it's like a softish, it's like a chewy soft food, meat lovers or something. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I do half
That's
that.
the pizza that I get.
I do half that, and I do half like kibbles and bits or whatever.
Okay.
And then I put her little hormone pill in it because she's got lady problems. She's 9 years old now.
Okay.
And she kind of just leaks if I don't give her hormone pills.
Okay.
I took her to the vet. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
Sure.
So that's her special blend, right?
Yep.
And if she gets into any of that like wet food, look out, buddy.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't buy that stuff.
It's not good. It's not good.
For sure.
So anyway, these two cops are driving around. They see the Chevy. They see the Kansas plates, and they're like, this can't be a coincidence. So they park and just wait for a second. And just a few seconds later, Dick and Perry their dumb asses come walking out of the post office carrying boxes, right? And, of course, the police walk up, and they're like, they see that they match the descriptions, and they're like, hey, you guys are under arrest.
Cool.
Hey, real quick. Bolo is no longer in production.
Oh, okay.
But you know
wow.
what's crazy?
How long ago did it say? Does it say?
It was a Simmons food product.
Oh,
No
wow.
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was all the leftover guts and stuff, probably.
Yeah.
Not to
I mean,
poop
it
on
went to a
Simmons and
good
all that.
cause.
Dogs.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not just wasted.
It says by 2010.
Okay.
Oh, no more Bolo.
Simmons Pet Food decided to focus on manufacturing private label and store brand wet pet food and move. It was a move that led to the discontinuation of its own small brands like Bolo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. A
Cool.
landmark, a trademark landmark gone. Rest in peace, Bolo. So 45 days after the murders, the killers were in custody. The investigation that led to their capture had been a long and arduous task. Obviously, the key was Floyd Wells' tip, which led investigators to search Dick's house, and now we're going to go back to we're going to backtrack a little bit and follow the investigation.
Okay, let's go.
So Floyd Wells gives him the tip. On December 9th, they go to Dick's house, and they find a bloody shirt and a 12-gauge shotgun. And it ended up being the one that had killed the Clutter family. Why is everyone smiling? What's happening? Did I miss something?
Oh, no,
I'm not even looking at
You're
you.
smiling.
again.
Why are you smiling?
I'm looking the
an old
opposite
joke.
direction. I don't even know what's going
I
on
could
behind
feel
me.
it, Sam. Why are you smiling, Ivan?
I'm smiling now.
I don't know. You were
Oh, no,
smiling
now-
before.
I was smiling, but it's the Bolo thing. Come on.
Okay.
It's
All right.
funny.
Anybody who's
Oh, you see the can up here?
Yeah. I remember.
that's what
For,
okay.
for YouTube and
like
the
a
studio
memory.
audience, you can see on camera, I am facing the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So Joe can't even see my mouth.
I have kind of a FOMO when it comes to
And I
these
was
guys.
not smiling.
If one of them even snickers or smiles or looks at each other, I'm just like, what's happening? I want to know.
Yeah, we know that.
Right. I'm sorry. It's a fault.
It's
Oh,
okay.
Ivan is over there. I can't even see Ivan right now.
okay. I'll let you off for this one,
My
Sam.
camera is right here.
Okay.
They can see that I'm not even looking over
All
there.
right, fine. But Ivan was
And
smiling.
you definitely
I
can't
was.
see me because they can't even see you in this. And you're looking at the back of my chair.
I have conceded to you, sir.
Smiling is not allowed.
No, I just wanted in on it. I want to know what you're smiling about. I didn't see the picture of the Bolo can. And now I have. And now I know. And we can proceed.
It's just like, I remember that.
I don't want to be left out. What are you guys talking about?
I don't
That's
know
it.
why I smiled at a can, but it was funny.
It was weird.
Yeah, it
In my
definitely is
defense,
weird.
why are you smiling at a bolo can?
I mean, it's just you know,
Look at it here.
it
looks like an always
Why
safe.
would you smile at? Well, the dog is kind of funny. Maybe I would.
it
Smile.
just looks like an always safe.
It does.
Can.
It says for puppies too. Okay, I get it. I take it back. I would smile at that too. It just makes me.
It's
feel,
like, don't insult my intelligence. I know that a puppy is a small dog, and it says dog food. Puppies too. Oh, I thought that was a whole different species.
dogs of all sizes. Yeah, that can makes me want to smile. Damn it! I
Wait.
hate it when I'm wrong.
Does that dog have an eye patch?
What? I think
does.
He has an eye patch.
Why?
The dog has an eye patch. He really does. That makes no sense.
It needs to say for two-eyed dogs too.
Oh my God, that's funny because my dog Stormy is blind in one eye, so that's kind of ironic.
I bet there's a whole story about the bolo dog.
We need to look that. Let's do an episode on the bolo dog. Not really, but we should look it up at least.
It's a 4-part series.
He's obviously like, is he an English bulldog or something? What is he? Like he's got the jowls.
Oh yeah, I think so.
English bulldog with an eye patch. That's weird. That's weird. But I bet there's a story. I bet the owner had a dog like that or
I
something.
bet that's it. I bet
And what does
its name
bolo
was-
mean?
Be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout for good dog food.
Okay, all right.
He's only on the half lookout.
All right. I do want to say though, I apologize to you. I would smile at that. I get it. I didn't mean to have an outburst.
It's so scarce. That picture had to be like courtesy of Etsy. That's the only way that thing popped
Wait,
up.
you can buy that can on Etsy right now?
That's what it looks
How
like.
much is it?
Oh, it's a vintage coin bank.
What?
That's what that is.
So was there bolo produced in that specific can ever though? I don't want to be lied to. I get that that's a coin bank and that's all good, well and good. But damn it, was that?
Yeah,
It was.
I remember that.
Okay.
I do remember that.
Oh, you do?
That's why I smiled, because I thought, oh, that's cool. I remember that.
Brought back memories of Ivan feeding his goat
Hey,
out there.
nostalgia will make you
Not with
smile.
bolo dog food.
Your
Yeah,
donkey?
definitely.
Did you have a goat? It was a donkey.
I
you
had goats. Yeah, and I had a donkey too.
He had a donkey too.
You name the farm animal, I had it. We had pigs.
Ivan's his name. Owning random farm animals is his game. But the donkey sticks out of my mind just because your dad just sold it out from under you.
He did, but I didn't. It's okay. It's fine.
My first wife sold my donkey out from under me too. We have things in common.
Oh yeah.
His name was Pete. He was my buddy.
Yours
we hung
is
out
more
together.
recent though.
I took selfie. No, it was 20 years ago. I took selfies with this donkey. And then I come home from work one day and I'm like, "Where's Pete?" And my wife was like, "I sold him for like $75."
You know, there was
That
a
still
guy
stings.
that took the first selfie, and I can't remember the history of that, but you might be the first guy to take a selfie with a donkey.
Yeah, it was like 2003, so maybe. You know.
If you beat him to the punch, 4174 Mantis.
I know what picture you're talking about, the first selfie. He's one of the coolest looking guys ever that I've happened to see. He is so cool looking. It was, mid 1800s or something?
Oh, I didn't even know.
Look it up. Look up first selfie and you'll see this really, he almost looks like Benedict Cumberbatch, Pinklebore
Oh,
Humperdinck.
yeah, you're right.
He
It
does
is that.
He has a really cool, petticoat on or whatever they called it back then. He's a cool looking guy.
Turn the camera towards himself.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm so fantastic looking. I should probably document this.
Boy, Joe's FOMO of missing out on what he thought was us smiling really derailed this podcast.
Now, are you going to cut all this out? I think it's pretty good stuff.
The cutting room floor, man.
Oh, okay. All right.
Pretty solid.
All right.
Hey, the live stream gets to see it, though.
That's true. Live stream. Yay. You get to see these random side Anyway, let's
Yeah,
get back
all
to it.
one person watching.
That's it. Probably my kid watching it. All right, hold on. On December 16th, Furniture Mart in Kansas City notified the KBI that they had just received a bogus check from someone who'd purchased a Zenith television there. When agents arrived and showed them Dick Hickok's photo, they positively ID'd him. He's like, yeah, that was the guy right there. And that one right there, he kind of sticks out. You know, with his face kind of jacked up and his
Sure.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a lot of other people, so I would get that.
Yeah, totally.
As KBI agents were investigating at Furniture Mart, Dick attempted to cash yet another bogus check just blocks away at Walt's service station. But he had a little hiccup there. There's a little problem there. The owner's son had gone to school with Dick and recognized him. And he, along with everybody else in the free world, knew these guys were, wanted.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So this guy refused to cash the check, and he called the KBI. They were informed of that as well. But by the time they got there, Dick was gone.
Okay.
Dick had pulled out. Okay.
Got it.
2 days later, I've been waiting for 2 episodes to use that joke, and I finally did. 2 days later,
Get the reaction you wanted.
dead silence. Sure, I laughed at it myself. That's all that matters.
I mean, I'm sorry, but the can got more of a reaction.
That's
I'm sorry.
bullcrap, by the way. The can got
It's
more.
not right.
No,
But it's true.
I feel like I'm at home again because I make golden jokes all day long, and my wife doesn't even crack an eyebrow. She doesn't even the corner of her mouth doesn't even twitch up, and it infuriates me. I'm funny, and she's like, yeah. But she's been around this shit for 18 years now, and it has not aged well. It's cooled
Speaking
off.
of the last episode, you had a Sam Kinison moment right there.
I did, right?
Kind of a random
Inner
yell,
Sam
which
Kinison.
made him what he was, which is awesome.
But I get it. I feel for my wife. She's been hearing the same dad and fart jokes for 18 years. I
Well-
wouldn't laugh either. I'd be like,
I mean, Ivan has too, and
Yeah.
I'm not too far behind.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, I feel for our wives. I'm like, this is not just you guys know. I
No,
don't.
I'm saying Ivan's been hearing your same fart jokes for the last.
Yeah, 23 years. 23 years, dude. And he still laughs at them.
For the most part.
Ooh, I'm telling Jessica that when I get home tonight.
Well, you don't get the eye roll from me, but I don't laugh at everything, and you don't laugh at everything I say either.
yeah,
so it
you,
all works out.
you just didn't laugh at that joke, too, so that makes sense.
Well, I was still looking at the dog food. I'll tell you, speaking of the dog food can, I was looking on Etsy. I was going to buy it, but it's already sold.
Sold out?
No, well, I mean, they only had
There's
one.
only one.
Oh, there's only one? What did it sell for, like $1 million? Is it the only one?
Well,
On
probably.
Etsy.
Ever?
Probably.
What did it sell for? I want to know now.
Oh,
If it's the
it didn't-
only one.
I don't think that information is
Oh,
available.
okay.
I clicked on it and nothing happened.
All right. Well,
It's a good question, though, because I did wonder as well.
I'm a little bit butthurt that the Bolo can got a bigger laugh than my genius joke.
Well,
but that's cool.
It wasn't even a laugh. It was a nostalgic smile.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's the category we were in.
Okay. Can we,
I don't think I laughed at your joke because I just saw it coming.
right. I mean, sure. I could make another joke right now, but you guys wouldn't. All right. We're going to.
I'm just laughing.
You
at
just
the
gave it
fact-
right to me.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
I was like, here, I'm gonna put that one.
I'm
on
a
the
bigger
tee.
person than that.
I'm gonna set that on the
Underhanded.
tee for you.
Or
Yeah,
am
set it
I?
on the tee. Yeah,
it's-
even better.
It's taken everything I have. 2 days later, they.
Yep.
2 days later, they interviewed Dorothy Marchant, who was Perry's sister.
Okay.
She was afraid of her brother and had nothing to do with him. Didn't get visits from him. She even asked him, like, if you do interview him, don't tell him where I live.
Oh, yeah.
So probably what my sisters say about me. I'm just kidding. They don't. So she also informed them that she had never lived in Fort Scott, Kansas.
Okay.
Well, that was their
Wait.
whole alibi. That night that they drove down to Fort Scott.
See, I already forgot.
Never.
Yeah.
Following that, the trail had seemed to grow cold as far as locating them. But the big break came in Las Vegas on the 30th when they finally caught him at, the post office.
Yeah.
So that was a week and a half or two of nothing.
So, can I ask a question? I think you
Yes.
said this earlier, and it'll be very easy to answer. This.
Okay.
Kansas City police were in Vegas.
The KBI traveled to Vegas, yeah.
And why did they go there?
They went there when they found out that the Las Vegas Police Department had arrested the two guys and had them in custody.
Never mind.
They made the trip, and they
That's a
spent.
dumb question.
No, it's not. They spent a few days.
I thought you said that the KBI saw them in Vegas.
If I did, that was a mistake. It was the Vegas Police.
I can't remember exactly
Yeah.
what you said, but maybe I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
no.
so the Las Vegas police knew about the bolo.
Yeah, they had the bolo,
I
even though
gotcha,
it wasn't
I gotcha.
called a bolo.
For some reason, I thought you said KBI.
There's a lot happened in the last 15 minutes. It's understandable that you would forget.
We should
what
have
was said
backtracked.
exactly.
Yeah.
Dang it, I wanted that dog food can.
The KBI traveled there and spent a few
Gotcha.
days with
That-
them and then took them back.
Got that. Okay.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. Hey, maybe somebody out there had the same question.
Yeah, maybe so.
Probably not.
If they did, we got them covered.
That's right.
We did sidetrack for like Sam said quite a while. So So now that the suspects were in custody, it was time to build the case against them. There was a ton of circumstantial evidence, as well as that bloody shirt and shotgun and a knife found at Dick's parents' house. Let's just keep we buried everything else in the ditch out by Fort whatever or Scott City. Why did they not bury the bloody shirt, the gun, and the knife? The things, come on.
It's a great question.
Anyway.
Which I'm going to predict they get them and they pull them apart. They try to figure out which one is the more aggressive of the two.
Yep.
And they work the case like that.
You're right.
We've
it.
done this a lot.
Perfect blueprint, my friend. That's exactly what they did.
Because, obviously, logically, that's not discrediting the police or the investigators, because logically, for anything, there's always like an aggressor and one that's the less.
The kind of the tag along.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. But in this case, though, what's weird is the leader and the tag along, once they get in the house and the heat turns on, they flip.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dick was we're doing this. And Perry's like, oh, okay. But once they get in there and the gravity of the situation hits them, it flips.
Yeah.
Perry's the one that's like, are we going to do this or not? And I really don't feel like Dick was.
Yeah. And it's all just because anger, I've done all this.
Mm-hmm. Come all this way.
Yeah, exactly.
We drove 8-9 hours. I could hear him just being like, you jackass, there's no safe. You told me there was a safe. And
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That makes sense. But you're right. That's probably not normally common. Normally the number one or the alpha is the alpha the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, this is kind of maybe a standalone case where they flip. So yeah, they have the knife, the bloody shirt, which would prove with blood type, which was not exact, but come on, it did eliminate part of the population. And as if all this wasn't enough, one of the boxes in Dick and Perry's possession contained 2 pairs of boots. They kept the boots. Guess what kind of tread each pair had?
The tread that matches the photo and the blood.
Yes, sir. One had a round Cat Paw logo, and the other had a diamond tread pattern exactly matching the set of boots located in the Claire's basement. Exactly. I'm sorry. I got a little excited.
I like it.
It is that it is in real life. Mostly it's just on TV where they have that smoking gun moment, but that was it.
It was very Jim Carrey-ish from Liar Liar.
Do you know why I pulled you over? Yeah. Well, the KBI traveled to Las Vegas. There you go, Ivan. And as detectives always do when dealing with 2 or more suspects, they split them up. There you go, Ivan. For interviews, basically filling them out. Perry was basically a steel trap and wouldn't give up anything. I don't know why my voice did that. However, it didn't take long for Dick to sing like a canary. He broke quickly. He wrote out and signed a full confession and described the murders just about exactly as we talked about them earlier, except Dick claimed that the murder part was never part of the plan. He said, I never said anyone should be murdered. That was a Perry thing but that was kind of bullshit because the whole time Dick had been saying, we can't leave any witnesses. No witnesses.
Well, let me play idiot's advocate for a minute.
Okay.
There is a possibility that isn't a possible. No, I'm sorry. That he didn't want to be seen. Maybe he didn't mean he wanted to kill them. Like, let's leave no witnesses. Maybe it's like, let's get in, find the safe, and get out.
Okay, maybe that could be.
But obviously that does indicate that you'd kill if you were seen.
It does.
Yeah.
I think maybe he was just a big talker.
Yeah.
You know?
Obviously, he didn't want to. He had to be almost forced to.
Right.
Based on the statements.
Based on what we believe, or what I believe.
The whole thing could have been that he was, and they just blamed it on the other guy.
Yeah.
But I hope not. Doesn't seem like it.
Well, so Dick also, and I don't know why he did this. For whatever reason, after the confession, he also admitted to a few other things.
Okay.
The most disgusting of which was, he admitted to molesting several underage girls around his hometown of Edgerton.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere. Didn't know. I didn't add it in earlier because I kind of wanted it to be a drop-in shock factor here. But apparently he was a chomo also on the side. I don't know.
He became Chunk on Goonies when the Fratellis was holding them. He just admitted to everything.
Yeah. You're right.
There is some psychology there.
Okay.
I want to be free and I'll tell you everything if you just, or I don't want to be charged for the murders.
True.
So here's how upfront I am with you. I will tell you about these things.
I stole a payday candy bar when I was 7.
Yeah, exactly.
And I took my mama's coin purse and spent the dimes when I was 9. Yeah, he was just an open, like, gushing out, right?
I would imagine there's a term for that, probably in the psychological
Emotion, psychological diarrhea.
Yeah, I mean,
Something
maybe
where it's
something
just
like
like-
that, where you're just like, I want to gain your trust, so I'll gain it by giving you all this information that you didn't ask for.
It was me who farted in the elevator.
It was me. Back to that movie again.
I'm admitting to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So Dick then revealed another detail from the night of the Clutter's murder. He admitted he knew that Nancy was there, or at least a 16-year-old girl. He knew that the Clutters had a young daughter. This was told to him by Floyd Wells. And so he then, and I didn't know this, he didn't tell it to anybody else, but at this point he said, actually, a big part of this was I wanted to sexually assault her. That was the crux of the plan.
I mean,
all of a sudden that comes out.
I guess it makes sense why I would say that, because it does give him a motive other than murder.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe that was his play.
That makes sense.
So, well, that night, and this was out of Dick Hickok's own mouth. Before Nancy was killed, he said that he started to make advances towards her, and he didn't get very far, but he started to do that. And so, look, Perry is a bad guy. He is who I think killed all 4 family members. But in this moment, he grabs Dick Hickok and pulls him back, and this is his words. According to both guys, he says, "Jesus Christ, Dick, nothing like that. That's out, man, completely out." So Perry stepped in and stopped that.
Wow.
And you can't. I know it's like I'm giving him props, but then he kills her moments later.
It's such a weird thing, because I mean, it is okay, good.
Right. It's such odd territory.
It's wow.
You're like, oh man, he stopped that. What a guy. Oh, he kills her 3 seconds later.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, I'm so confused. Holy crap. It's a very weird thing, right? I mean, I guess
very much
everybody has different lines, you know? Like even some of, in prison, some of the worst, and most despicable criminals and cold-blooded killers, they have a line that's like a child molester.
Yeah.
Like if a child molester goes in there, he's almost like marked for death.
Yeah.
They have lines and they have categories even amongst their ranks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. It's a psychological thing, right? Because some people, we've covered killers before that they may kill someone, but they wouldn't hurt a dog. They like people are complicated. I don't know.
I would say so.
Yeah, but at least at least can we take solace in the fact that Nancy, in the moments before her death, at least didn't have to experience that.
I mean,
that is something.
Yeah.
That's something. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
That's not nothing. So anyway, all right. I don't know why I'm like dying on this.
It's good to. It's interesting to point out.
It's like the one silver lining of that night to me.
Yeah.
At least this monster, didn't do that to this poor girl.
Yeah.
Even though I know she died and it was horrific. But at least that didn't happen before. I'm beating a dead horse. So
No. It's I'm intrigued by it all.
Yeah,
it doesn't make it much better, but
it's like
you're right.
1% better.
Yeah. 0.1%.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Well, on the long drive back to Garden City, investigators split the pair again as they're taking them back. Right, they got Dick and a few policemen in one car up front, Perry and a few policemen following behind. On the drive there, an agent informed Perry, he's like, hey, Dick confessed to everything, said you killed everyone. Classic police tactics, right? Perry obviously gets really pissed, right? And another thing was, it's like, it was so ironic. Perry could see in the back glass Dick sitting in the car up front as they were driving ahead, and Dick was talking the whole time. He was flapping. You could see him flapping his gums, his head going. And they said Perry was just staring at him, and he said, "Look at him, just talking. Look at him, just flapping his gums." He said, "If we ever got caught, we wouldn't say nothing. Look at him up there. He won't shut up." And so, it's really pretty genius.
Yeah, it really is.
So we have hours and hours and hours of them driving back to Kansas, where, he's seeing this and he's just getting more and more angry. And finally he's like, okay, you know what? I'll tell you what really happened.
Yeah.
I'll talk now. It worked.
Yeah.
So he admitted to killing Herb and Kenyon, but Perry insisted that it had been Dick who had killed Bonnie and Nancy. So we have that happens a lot.
I mean, I was saying that earlier about Nancy, that the fact that her face was down.
Right. And Dick had an interest in her.
Yeah.
Right? That would kind of make sense. As the trial of both men for the murders of the Clutter family approached, Holcomb and Garden City were flooded with reporters. By then, the slayings were not only a national story, but probably the biggest national story out there. Defense attorney Harrison Smith was chosen to defend Dick Hickok, and attorney Arthur Fleming would represent Perry Smith. Both lawyers knew there wasn't a chance in hell that their clients would be found innocent. They knew they'd be found guilty, so they mainly focused on just keeping them off death row. For that, they used the oldest trick in the book.
Insanity.
Yes, you got it, my friend. The insane. Oh, my clients were insane at the time of the crimes. I promise.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, especially when.
Yeah, they obviously planned it from prison.
Yeah, they meticulously planned it over months and months. Told everyone. Left clues everywhere.
I forgot about that part.
And then they just went insane right at the very last second, and when they killed everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. The trial began on March 22nd, 1960, and was presided by Judge Roland Tate. The courtroom was packed, and hundreds more people surrounded the building. The prosecution spent 4 days laying out a damning, pretty much airtight case. Also, Perry and Dick had written and signed confessions.
Yeah, that helps.
Everyone knew the outcome. The only thing people didn't know was the punishment. So, when it was the defense's turn, they pursued their insanity tactics as planned, and psychiatrist Mitchell Jones testified on their behalf. However, when asked if he believed Dick knew right from wrong at the time of the murders, it kind of backfired because Jones said, yeah. Well, that kind of blows the insanity thing out of the water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
Not good. And then when they asked, okay, well, do you think Perry knew right from wrong at the time of the murders? And to that, Jones said, I haven't decided yet. So the judge was basically like, he tossed him out. This is a waste of our time.
Yeah.
On March 28th, Dick and Perry's defense attorneys pled for life in prison for their clients. But on the following day, prosecutor Logan Green delivered a scorching final statement. And man, I read the transcript of it. Wow. It's like the best writers in Hollywood couldn't write this for the end of a trial movie. I got a little bit of it, but he basically compared the brutality of the Clutter murders to like slaughtering a pen of hogs. He then ended by pointing out that the killers had only made away with about $80 in loot. That's about $20 per each life they took. It makes it seem so trivial and insane.
Sure.
It only took the jury like 25 minutes to reach a guilty verdict, with the punishment being death by hanging.
Wow.
Right. It probably only took them 3 minutes, and then the rest of the
Sure.
time they just drank coffee and smoked cigarettes and
Yeah, probably.
talked about what they were going to do when the trial was finally over. The execution date was set for Friday the 13th of May,
Wow.
just 2 weeks from the end of the trial. Of course, there are appeals and a few days of Of course, there are appeals and a few stays of execution that draw the process out. And some people stay on death row until they die of old age. But this would not be the case for the Clutter murders. Although they were able to dodge the rope for 5 years, Dick and Perry's luck finally ran out. Both men were hanged on April 14th, 1965. Now, one thing we haven't mentioned yet is the whole Truman Capote element. We talked about it in the beginning of the first episode.
Sure.
Because I wanted to focus mainly on the story. However, Capote became a part of the story by traveling to Holcomb soon after the murders and immersing himself in the community as well as in the investigation. By the way, he traveled there with a fellow author named Harper Lee, who had just written a little book called To Kill a Mockingbird. You knew it, yeah. It wasn't even published at the time. She just finished writing it. Anyways, there's a whole other episode worth of information on Capote. I love Capote. He's such a dynamic and interesting guy, especially for the late 50s. Mm-hmm. We do need. It's the most cliche thing I say, but we should do an episode on him. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he became so ingrained with the community, and he actually befriended the killers, and he became fairly close to, so close to them, in fact, he waited till after the executions to publish In Cold Blood. And it was also part of because he wanted everything to be wrapped up with a bow. He wanted, the trial date, the conviction, the execution, but he also did become pretty close to them. So anyway, that's a whole thing. We could do a whole thing on that, but we decided to stick with just the case, and that's the end of it. That's the end of the Clutter murders.
I mean, I kind of think that he, had empathy towards them just because, I mean, obviously, just like crap. I mean, this is not an excuse. People always want to do that. Oh, why would you make an excuse for murders? But obviously, I mean, their life was just trash. You know?
Yeah.
And then, not the reason, not an excuse, but the reason or whatever. It doesn't excuse them from anything. Obviously, they got what they deserved. But
I think with Dick, it wouldn't have worked. But to keep him off death row, if I was his defense, I would have really went hard at the accident.
Sure.
The brain injury thing. I would have went hard on that. I would have really tried to pursue that and somehow convince them that it was that, that damaged his frontal lobe or whatever it is. And he wasn't fully. I don't know. It would still probably not have worked, but that'd be the only. And then, like these days, they would do that. And these days, they would really dissect Perry's early childhood with his alcoholic parents. They always do that. They always, I know he killed the people, but this.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of more of an old-fashioned hard ass where I'm like, I don't give a shit, but this. They killed these people. Yeah, but this. But he grew up this. But this happened. Okay, but he killed someone.
I think Dick's chances would have went up astronomically if right after the murder, if he would have figured out a way to split ways and turn in the other guy. Then I think he probably would have lived probably life in prison.
Yeah, like
but
turn
the
state's
fact
evidence.
that they spent so much time just like doing all this randomness, like afterwards. I mean, it's hard to say. Well, he was not as guilty as the other guy. It's like, well, then why didn't he do something, anything? Even if it's just like find a payphone and say, I'm running around with him, but it was mainly him. But when we get pulled in, I'll tell you the whole story. It's like
that may have saved him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would have been the only thing that could have probably.
Yeah, and I don't. It's so convoluted. Like, how would you prove who actually shot who in that house that night?
Yeah,
how it'd be just their one word against the other.
Exactly.
I did read at the very end of my research. I don't know if it's true. But I read that eventually Perry, it was obviously before his execution, he did admit to killing all four of them.
Oh, wow.
But then there was another conspiracy theory that he only did that to spare Dick's mother. Like he didn't want. He was close to Dick's mother and he didn't want her to think her son had killed anyone.
Sure.
Who friggin' knows?
Because he was going down anyway.
Yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah,
At this point.
Yeah, well, man, terrible case, Joe, but good job on it.
Thanks. Read the book In Cold Blood. Watch the movie Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's been years, but anything with him is amazing.
Masterclass. Capote, I almost wish we would have played part of his, just anything by him, because he had the weirdest.
Yeah.
You almost think he's putting it on, but no, that's just how the guy was. He was such an odd, interesting little guy.
Sure. Yeah, really.
To put it lightly.
Really.
But anyway, all right.
I think he won like an Academy Award for that or something.
I think he did. Yeah. He should have, because oh my God, did he ever nail it?
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of footage of Truman Capote.
There really is. Yeah, there really is.
Yeah. So he nailed it. So anyway, the Clutter family murders. A conclusion of part 2. That's it. And I guess we will see you guys on the next one.
Yep.
Good night.